Okay, so we have some terminology here. So if you have a graph, something maybe that goes like this, and then you have parts of that graph where the graph is said to be increasing. So if you're reading the graph from left to right and the values are getting more, the output is getting greater, it's going up, and that would be an area of increase. So we would say this graph is increasing up to this point, in this section here, and it's also increasing from here. But see, that part, that's not increasing because it's going down. So that would be a decreasing part. So decreasing is when the outputs are getting smaller in a particular interval. Okay? So I'll just use the same graph, but this part, that would be decreasing. Okay, so from the top here to the bottom here, that section would be decreasing. Okay? You can also have a function where there's a constant part. So maybe the function is increasing, and then it's constant, and then increasing again. Maybe it's something like that. This part in here where it's staying flat, it's not going up or down, the outputs are staying the same, that's going to be a constant interval. So from here approximately to here, that would be constant. Okay? So that's the terms for that. Okay, what that all means. Now we're going to talk about what's called a local maximum. You can have more than one, and then it's plural. The plural of maximum is maxima. So when they say local maxima, they mean there's more than one. Okay? If there's just one, then it's a maximum. This is a Latin thing, and that's it's just the language. Okay. So let's say we have a graph that goes something like this. Well, when we talk about a local maximum, we're talking about in the vicinity. Is there an area where it's changing from increasing to decreasing? So again, we're reading our graphs from left to right, and right here, that would be a local maximum. Okay? There's just one. It's just in that area, it's changing. The graph is changing from an increasing curve to a decreasing curve. So anytime there's this change from increasing to decreasing, that would create a local maximum. So it's called a local maximum, as opposed to the absolute maximum. We'll talk about those later on in a different section. Okay, but likewise, you can also have a local minimum, or if you have more than one, minima. Okay, so local minimum, well, actually there's two of them this time. There's one down here, and there's one down here. So this is where the graph is changing from decreasing to increasing. See, it's decreasing here, but then we get to that low point, and then it's increasing. So this is a local minimum. And there's two of them, so we could say, oh, there are two local minima here. Okay, so those would be the local minima. Okay. Together, when we have local max and local mins, those are called the local extrema. Okay, so if you said, well, how many local extrema are there? There are three. There's two minima and one maximum. Okay, so I'm getting tripped up on my Latin language here. Okay, I didn't take Latin. Anyway, but that's what they mean by extremes. It's kind of just the general term for both maximums and minimums. So they don't always have to say maximum and minimum. They can just say extrema. Okay, so that's the terminology.